Alright guys, Surveillance TV here, back to bring you an Unholy Death Knight guide for Mythic Plus in 10.2 of Dragonflight. This will be an in-depth guide that's a follow-up to a quick guide a few weeks ago, where we'll really get in-depth about talents, rotation, things like that, more than that quick guide did earlier in the season. So jumping right into it, we're going to go right into talents here. The class tree, nothing changed since last season really. A couple flex nodes we can talk about though. We're taking all of our standard talents here. A few things you can change around. Maybe you take out an anti-magic zone, maybe you take out a blinding sleep, depending on your comp. Maybe you'll put that in asphyxiate or improve death strike for some more healing. Again, comp dependent on what you switch out there. And then down at the bottom here, you can take out some points. Maybe you go blood draw instead of Will of the Necropolis. If you do that, you take out Insidious Chill, put another point on Unholy Bond, maybe. This last row here is kind of your big flex point with these talents, whichever defensive ones you like more. I personally like Will of the Necropolis more. I like that a lot. It's a nice little, gives us some more tankiness when we're lower, you know? Moving over into the spec tree itself, not a single point has changed since last season. This is your Unholy build for Giga AoE damage. You'll always be using this. Honestly, not many flex points here to change points out for. Maybe you take a point out of Morbidity, put it in Ghoulish Frenzy, or you put it in Improved Death Coil for some more single target or cleave. But honestly, I'd keep it here. This build works perfectly fine for any Mythic Plus scenario you'll be in. One thing I forgot about over here though, on Incorporeal weeks, important, take Control Undead instead of Enfeeble so you can help out with that Incorporeal. And that's pretty much it for talents for us. Not a lot has changed since 10.2, and all of this is staying the same. Moving into our stat priority a little bit here. For those of you that are new, for Unholy, our Mastery increases the damage of our minions and shadow damage abilities by 20%, depending on what your Mastery is. The rundown of it is you're going to want as much Mastery as possible, followed by a balance of crit, haste, and maybe some verse in there. Crit's better for AoE, haste better for single target. Pretty much just sim yourself, get as much mastery as you can, and then after that, sim pieces that you get, see if it works better in a dungeon slice or not. Mastery, far and away, much, much better than crit, haste, or verse, though. Maybe you're asking, why? If you go look at our damage from a dungeon, what does mastery do? It increases our minion damage and shadow damage. Our damage. Shadow damage, shadow damage. Minion damage, shadow damage, shadow damage, shadow, minion. Minion, shadow, shadow. You get the point. It's all of our damage. It's minions and shadow damage. So get as much mastery as you possibly can. And anything after that, you'll be fine. That's what I'd recommend there for that stat priority going on. For trinkets, what do we want to do for trinkets? Kind of whatever you get your hands on. There's a lot of really good trinkets this season. Obviously the BIS option, mostly for raid, but all good Mythic Plus, would be Dawn. You get yourself a mirror and a sandglass. You just chain around Dawns and get those two, you're perfectly set up for the whole season, honestly. If you can't get those, like me, I'm running Might of the Ocean instead, because I couldn't get a mirror to drop yet, but I have a sandglass. I really recommend farming a sandglass. Sandglass is very nice. Any combination of these trinkets here that I've laid out will work. Whatever you get to drop, you can honestly use, and it'll be pretty much okay. Gleaming Eye, meh, a little more single target than AoE. Wouldn't truly recommend it. Butcher Block works fine, better for Frost. Don't get us counterweight. Eggshell's okay. Don't get us Spores. Crab and Might of the Ocean, though, good. If you get those, use both of them. If you're going to be hopping into raid at all, Pips and Signet Brand, both BIS stat sticks right there. Take those if you get them. Ashes and Branch, yeah, there's better options. But yeah, like I said, if whatever you can get your hands on, you can use. They're all very good this season. I've just been running what I got, Sandglass and the Might of the Ocean, and I'm pumping just fine. It feels really good. I don't feel like I'm missing anything. So, in a pretty good spot this season. As far as embellishments go, I crafted Allied Wrist Guards first. And then with my second spark, I had a socket on my belt, or an early belt drop. So I went ahead and crafted a Lariat, because we love stats, both Frost and Unholy, and I play both. So I just slammed a Lariat early in the season, which I don't really have any regrets. It's going great. My only regret is I can't upgrade my rings yet, because I don't have any ones with sockets. But besides that, any combination of Wrist Guards, Lariat, Blue Cynical 9-in, Shadow Flame, maybe Frostfire Leg Guards, Any of those will work. You can sim them if you're trying to double dip between Raid and Mythic Plus, or Frost and Unholy. Any combination of those will work. It's pretty much dealer's choice. Sim yourself. They're all perfectly fine options. Nothing is like crazy bits that you're going to be missing out on it, or nothing is really bad if you're using it. So any of that combination there, and you'll be perfectly fine this season. Moving into our tier set, what is it? Our 2-set Apocalypse summons an additional Magus of the Dead. Your Magus of the Dead Shadow Bolt now fires a volley of Shadow Bolts at up to 4 nearby enemies. What's this doing? It's really helping our 45-second cooldowns, and it's also helping us in those less than 5 target cleave scenarios. We all know Unholy does just absolutely giga damn the more bigger your pulls are, but we're a little bit weaker in those lower pull count type pulls. So this set bonus is really trying to help us out in those 45-second cooldowns, as well as those shorter or smaller pull counts that you might see. Our 4-set, each rune you spend increases the duration of our active Magi by 0.5 seconds, and your Magi will now also cost amplified damage, increasing the damage you deal by 5% for 10 seconds. So again, really focusing on those 45-second windows, as well as increasing the duration that they're up, and just giving us more damage whenever we have our 45-second cooldowns up. I've been playing around a lot with Unholy this season. I played a lot of Frost early. This week I've been playing some more Unholy, and it feels really good now that I have gear, and now that we're in higher keys and pulling bigger. Unholy slams. It's great. It feels really good. This tier set feels awesome. I love it. I'm having a lot of fun this season. I know a lot of people are a little down on Unholy this season, more Raid so than Mythic Plus. I'm having a ton of fun with it. It feels really great. I love Death Knight, so what can I say? Moving into our rotation now. Our tier set doesn't change anything at all. As you know, Frost changed a lot with Chill Streak, or not a lot, you just press one more button. Ours does not change at all. You're sending all your buttons all the time. So what does our opener look like? Here it is in the top here. But again, nothing has changed. Start of a pull, we're going to run in, drop our Defile, get our stacking buff going, hit our Scourge Strike to get our Plaguebringer running, and then pop everything. Blight, Dark Transformation, Assault, Apocalypse, Rune Weapon, A-Bomb, Light of the Ocean. I forgot to arm me on my way in. And then you're just keeping up your Defile, Plaguebringer, and spamming Epidemics. That's it. That's your entire rotation. If it's single target, you're pressing Death Coils. If it's AoE, you're hitting your Epidemics. Keep your Plaguebringers up. Our Defile's about to run out. Pop that, get that going again. And then continue. Scourge Strike, Epidemic, Epidemic, Epidemic. Scourge Strike. If it's single target, Death Coil. What do I mean by keeping our Defiles up? With our Defile, you get up to 8% mastery with enemies standing in it. So you're always going to want to keep chaining yours together to try to keep your 8 stacks of mastery up for maximum damage. What's Plaguebringer, maybe you're asking? Your Scourge Strike causes our diseases to deal damage 100% faster for 10 seconds. So we're just doing more damage faster. Those are the 2 buffs we're always trying to keep up when we're in combat. Outside of keeping those up, again, you're just ripping your Epidemics. Or if it's single target, you're ripping Death Coils. And that's the only difference between AoE and single target as well, is Epidemic versus Death Coil usage, which one you're using when. A little bit more of a practical example here, but here is a key from the other night, where this is just the start of the key, and we'll just show you what it looks like in a dungeon as opposed to on training dummies. So again, we're running in. I army pre-pull. I didn't press Defile here for some reason early, but my first global is a Scourge Strike, and then I pop everything, as you can see in my little scrolling buttons down here. I pop everything, pop my Defile, and then as I can see, all I'm doing is pressing Epidemic or Scourge Strike. Those are the only 2 buttons you see popping up on that scroll feed. Epidemic, Scourge Strike, Epidemic, Scourge Strike. And that's it. Boom, keep up my Defile, keep up my 8 stacks of mastery, and that's it. You're just repeating. And what's that over there? 1.85 million DPS. Works. Unholy, big pulls, slams. We love it. Og Evokers, we love them. So, as you can see, it's honestly, there's a lot of buttons in Unholy, but when you get down to it, it's not that bad. Once you have all your setup done, and in higher keys where stuff can live, you do crazy damage. You just hitting your Epidemics, hitting your Scourge Strike to keep Plaguebringer, and keeping your Defiles up. That's all there is to it. In single target, instead of pressing Epidemic, pressing Death Coil. And that's it. It's not too hard. You do a lot of damage. A lot of fun. We love seeing big numbers. You saw all the numbers pop up on my screen. That's a big serotonin boost right there with all those numbers. And yeah, that's it for Unholy. Coming back over here now. What else do we got going on? Anything else on the rotation? No, I think we can move into defensives. Oh, one more thing on rotation in keys. Forgot about. Just slam buttons when they come up. Don't really hold buttons. Just hit everything as it pops up. Your 45 seconds are always lining up. Your Blight, your DT, your Apocalypse, always together. Your Unholy Assault and your Trinket will be up every other set of cooldowns. Your Rune Weapon and A-Bomb Limb, you'll sync up when they come up. And your Army, you're just slamming pretty much every 3-ish minutes, because that's what the cooldown is with... What's the button? Army the Damned. Whenever we're pressing Death Coil or Epidemic, it reduces the cooldown of our army by 5 seconds. So our army's up like every 3-ish minutes in a key. Do that in a key, go in the dungeon with a lot of damage. It's nice. So as far as defensives go, staying alive is a DK. If you watch my other videos, you know I like to say that if you die as a Death Knight, it's your fault. You should never really be dying to rot damage in a key, unless you're on the bleeding edge of keys, like the highest key levels. Odds are, if you're dying, you probably ate something, someone missed a kick or something like that. You're not going to be dying to rot. You're a plate wearer, you're very tanky. We have Veteran of the Third, where we have 20% increased stamina, and we have a myriad of defensive abilities. We have our Icebound, 30% damage reduction. You get stuck in a stun, it gets you out of a stun. We have my personal bias, the greatest defensive slash button in the game, Anti-Magic Shell, up every 40 seconds. Absorbs an obscene amount of magic damage and prevents all applications of any future magical effects. So if a boss is going to shoot a dot out on you, Shadow Bolt Volley last boss of Black Rip, press it before it goes out, you won't even get the Shadow Bolt dot on you. You get Runic Power from it, so it helps your offensive abilities. Lichborn with the Unholy Endurance talent, it's now 50% damage reduction, increases our leech by 10%, so we're healing more with our Death Strikes, and it makes us immune to charms, fears, and sleeps. So you get feared, armor slept, press it to get out of it if you messed up. It also acts as a DR. And then, of course, Death Strike, the golden boy. You get chunked gigantically, you press out, all of a sudden you're full health again, your healer loves you. And then we have, obviously, Will, Blood Draw, down at the bottom here to help us out if we need it. So you're really tanky. You really shouldn't be dying. If you are, like I said, it's probably your fault. Moving into consumables going on here. Just normal stuff. Fallen Crusader. Sim yourself for sockets and bring enchants. I'm just rolling mastery right now. Shadow Belt class for the stamina, our armor kits. That's pretty much it for our enchants going on there. Obviously, the new health pot's really good. Dreamwalker's healing potion, use that. Unleash Potion of Ultimate Power, obviously better than the regular power pot. We have the new Dreambound Augment Room from 18 Renown with the Dream Wardens. We have Feasts. I use the Verse Flasks just for a little bit of verse, and those high keys help to stay alive. And that's pretty much it for it, guys. A little bit shorter than the Frost one, but I got through everything I wanted to talk to. Hopefully this guide has provided some value for you guys. Leave a like, comment, subscribe. Tell me how it's going, what else you want to see, how this video was. And we'll see you in the next one. Thanks.